Stellar Blade's PC release is doing phenomenally for Shift Up right now. It is crushing PlayStation PC records, which is awesome to see, and tons of gamers are loving the title. But the Access Media is furious that we would dare to objectify fictional characters and that we are modding the game so that Eve shows a little bit more skin. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, one thing that is glorious about mods is that you do not have to download them. If you don't want to see your character nude or you don't want to see them in sexy cowgirl outfits, you don't have to download the mods. You can ignore their existence and go on with your day. And then if I did want to download those and enjoy my experience, then I could. And it doesn't harm anybody. It doesn't affect anybody else's game. But the Access Media absolutely loathes the fact that people are objectifying fictional female characters, but this game is crushing records, which is great to see. So starting off with that news, it says finally having broken free of PlayStation exclusivity, 2024 Action or Stellar Blade has absolutely dominated all other former PlayStation exclusives that eventually headed to PC. As we speak now, having launched in all regions, Stellar Blade appears to have peaked at about 183,830 players on Steam, which is really good. Of course, we're not talking about the heights of something like Helldivers 2, but this game came out a year ago on PS5, and now it's finally coming to PC, which is really cool to see, and it is still doing extremely well. And of course, this is actually double the previous single-player record holder, but the 77,000 of Ghost of Tsushima, and as we head into the weekend, who knows if it could eventually triple that. I do think that it will probably get upwards of 200,000. Of course, around release day is typically when games do the best, but it did launch on a Wednesday, so I think that it's going to do better, though Stellar Blade is currently sitting at 183,830, Ghost of Tsushima 77,154, God of War 73,000, Spider-Man Remastered 66,000, Horizon Zero Dawn 56, Last of Us Part 1 36, Last of Us Part 2 30, and Spider-Man 2 at a measly 28,000. And of course, I've talked about it a lot on the channel. I absolutely love Ghost of Tsushima. Spider-Man's a really good game, but Stellar Blade is really good as well. But one major reason why it's doing so well on PC is because of the modding scene. Yes, the game itself is fantastic. It's got super smooth combat, really cool boss fights, a nice aesthetic, though mods are very popular, and a reason why it's doing so good is because of that scene, which I think is fantastic. If you want to edit your game in whatever way you want, that's totally cool, though the Access Media is pretty ticked off about this. Now, we basically knew that this was going to happen because last year when the game originally launched, they were furious that this game dared to objectify female characters, and they made Eve eye candy, and it appealed to thirsty gamers, and that's exactly what they're saying now. PC gamers are down bad for Stellar Blade as the risque hack and slash game breaks PlayStation record in hours. Maybe it's because it's just a good fucking game, not because gamers are down bad and they're thirsty and they're gooners. Vice, of course, is saying the same exact thing. Stellar Blade's PC launch breaks Steam sales records thanks to its thirsty fan base. I think that that is, of course, ridiculous. Just because you'd like to see beautiful characters in your games does not mean that you are thirsty. It does not mean that you are a loser. It just means that you can appreciate beauty. I am a female that would much rather see attractive, beautiful, feminine female characters in my entertainment than Abby Smashers. I'm just not a fan of that strong, independent woman archetype that looks more like a man than a woman. I don't think it is a problem to have beautiful female characters, but the Access Media says that is ridiculous. And it also reminds me of some of the articles that were actually being posted last year when the game came out. This is, first of all, an absolutely insane title for an article. I mean, it's so long. Stellar Blade puts even some incredibly stupid sexy outfits that hurt the game's story, but despite the forced sex appeal, I actually love her detailed design. Oh my gosh, what a mouthful. Now, I don't think that these people actually played the game or understood the game. Because while, yes, there are bikinis in the game, there are very, very showy outfits, risque outfits. There are also head-to-toe bodysuits. Like, her default outfit is a head head-to-toe bodysuit. There are tons within the game that look absolutely amazing. If you don't want to play the game with the more sexual costumes, newsflash, you don't have to. It's just that these people, of course, wanted something to complain about. They're 8 years behind, but Stellar Blade fans are on track to out-horny Nier Automata fans. After one day, the top 30 NSFW mods on Nexus Mods have 350,000 downloads. I'm honestly shocked at this point that we haven't seen Nexus Mods removing a lot of mods. I think it's simply because, though, they realize that they need as much attention as possible, and if they do continue to ban mods and the creators, they're not going to have any content being created for their fucking platform. So it's good that nothing's being removed. I'm just shocked that the activists working at Nexus Mods haven't gone absolutely cuckoo so far. I guess I have to give them some credit, but yeah, I mean, we're seeing, Video Gamer, Vice, Games Radar, all of them basically trashing gamers, saying that you're just a horny loser if you like this type of content in your game, which I think is absolutely fucking disgusting. These people will support something like Baldur's Gate 3, which they're allowed to do, but on the flip side, they will attack games simply because they have pretty women in them. It says, though, on Steam alone, Stellar Blade is the highest performing single-player PlayStation game on PC yet, despite the fervor of bringing major console-exclusive franchises like God of War, Uncharted, and Spider-Man to the platform. Stellar Blade is crushing records left and right, which I do really love to see. Of course, one of the reasons the PC release of Shift Up's action game is so successful is because of mods, of which there are already hundreds. In the hour since release, players have already crafted many outfits for Eve to wear, including looks from the First Descendant, Zenless Zone Zero, and more. There's also a mod that makes the evade sound effect on the sound effects from like Dragon Ball Z, which is awesome, and I do think that most of these mods are really fantastic, but so is just the game in general. And I'm sure you guys know at this point, but I absolutely love to promote mods because it gives you so much customization, especially in a time when so many games end up being censored by developers. They want to tone down content for a brand new audience, and even though it's an M for mature game and only adults should be playing it, it's like they don't want adults to see boobs and butts, which I think is absurd. So there's a lot of really great mods for this, which I'm super hyped to see. I think that it is so cool that this game is doing so well right now. It is a really good experience. Black Myth Wukong was my game of the year last year. There was no way that a game was really going to pass Wukong, but Stellar Blade was my number 2. It was really good. It has a gorgeous soundtrack. It deserved way more attention than it actually got. So I'm happy to see that it's doing so well over on Steam, and I do think that over the weekend, these numbers are only going to continue to grow. I will be keeping my eye on them, but of course, the Axis media is melting down while gamers are proving that sexy sells and modern audience slop doesn't. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, give it a like, and if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I'll talk to you all again in the next video really soon.